We will begin the way we begin everything in Illustrator. Go ahead and launch Adobe Illustrator. If you have a shortcut on your taskbar, use that. If you don't, you'll have to go into the folder. Now, go to File, New, and create a new document. As always, we're going to leave this a letter-sized document. That's fine. And I like to have this one vertical and in inches just above that. And if you're good to go, say OK. Now we're going to place our template on the file. So we're going to go back to File and choose Place. Now locate the file you just copied over, the O1 paths, and before hitting Place, click the Template box. Now place the document. Now because of a weird glitch, we are going to have to embed this document, so we will need our layers. If they're not showing, go to Window and choose Layers. And for just a second, we're going to unlock that template layer and then go up to the button at the top and hit Embed. That's okay, we don't worry about the fonts. Now relock your template so you don't accidentally draw on it and switch back to Layer 1 to begin drawing. These are all things that Illustrator does automatically for you, creating the special template layer and creating a layer to draw on. All right, now we're ready to go. Okay, now we're ready to draw curve A. Before I start drawing something, I like to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to grab the magnifying glass and draw a little box around A to zoom in on it. Now we're going to be using the pen tool. The pen tool in Illustrator creates lines or curves by indicating the beginning and the end, or point A and point B. When it's a curve, you have to also indicate which direction the curve is going to go. You do this by simply holding down the mouse button and pulling in the direction of the curve, in this case, up. After I pull up, I'm going to move to the end of my curve and hold my mouse button down and pull down. Notice I get two direction lines, and the one in the back is lining up with the curve. Now my curve looks pretty good, but I can't really see the template, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm right. I know this looks maybe clear in the middle because it matches the paper, but it's actually white. And we can tell that by looking over here in the toolbar. Every shape has a stroke color and a fill color. Here my stroke is black and my fill is white. I want to make my fill color none so that I can see the template. So by clicking on the fill color, it comes to the front, and then I click this little icon for none, and now I have no fill at all, and I can see the template better. Now, my line is black and so is theirs, so I can also return to my toolbar, choose the stroke color, and then go select a more contrasting color. How about a bright pink? Now I can more easily tell the difference between my line and the template. Now, to correct lines, you're going to use the Direct Selection tool, which is this white arrow tool. With it, you can grab either anchor points themselves and move them, like so, or you can grab these little handles at the ends of the direction lines. A handle lets you twist the line to adjust the shape of the curve, or lengthen or shorten the line to adjust the height of the curve. In this case, I think just shortening it will fix my curve. That looks pretty good. I'm going to say we're done with curve A. So now that we finished path A, we're ready to start path B. To do so, the first thing I'm going to do is zoom out. A quick way to do that is to hold down Control and type a 0. Now we can see the whole page. Now I'm going to get the magnifying glass and again select an area around path B this time so I can see it nice and large. Back to my pen tool, I'm ready to start path B. You'll notice path B has nice little numbered boxes. I'm going to start the first curve just like I started path A. I want to make sure the very tip of my little pen is in the center of box 1. When I've got it all ready to go, I'm going to hold down my mouse button and pull straight up, just like we did before. Now I'm going to move over to box 2, center my pen, hold my mouse button down, and pull straight down. Now coincidentally, notice that while I pulled away from that first curve, I happen to be pulling towards this next curve. So all I have to do at this point is move over to box 3, hold my mouse button down, and pull straight up, and that will let me finish the second curve. Again, I've conveniently headed towards the next curve, so over to box 4 and pull down. Now notice my curves aren't perfect, but I'm going to wait and fix them when I'm all finished because I want to make sure my path stays connected. So I'm going to go to box 5, hold my mouse button down and pull up, and then over to 6, hold down and pull down. Now I'll fix it the same way I fixed path A. Go get the direct selection tool. You'll notice when you click on an anchor point, you get all the handles related to that anchor point. So now that affects 2 curves. And I'm going to start adjusting the length of these handles. Now remember, you could also change the angle, but watch what happens when I change the angle of this handle. It not only affects that top curve, but the one before it as well. So be very careful. In this case, you're probably better off simply adjusting the length of the different handles and not changing the angles of them if your path is pretty much headed in the right direction. So I'm going to work my way through, just kind of grabbing handles and changing the lengths of them. This is something you'll get used to just by trial and error. It really just takes practice. You got to get in there and do it. But you'll start to get a feel for how long to make these handles and what angle to make these handles. Okay, with path B done, we're ready to move on to C. Same as before, I'm going to zoom out by using the Control-0 command. Now I'm going to grab my magnifying glass and select the area around path C to enlarge it. Back to my pen tool, remember, will tell the computer that I'm ready to start a new path. Start out as before. Hold your mouse button down and pull up, and then pull down. Now, second curve. Logically, it makes sense that I would need to start at the beginning and pull up in order to tell the computer where to go. So watch what happens when we try that. Line it up, and if I pull up, unfortunately, that ends up destroying the curve before. Luckily, we can always go to Edit Undo. Now, there's just a secret you have to know to do this, and it involves using a key command on your keyboard at the same time as you draw. So you're going to line your cursor up, hold down your Alt key, then hold down the mouse button and pull up. Now let's try it. There we go. Look what it did. It allowed us to start the new curve without destroying the one before. Now you finish the curve like normal. Now we've got the same situation. It's picky about the order. Make sure you line up the pen tool. You see that little caret next to it. Hold down Alt, hold down your mouse button and pull up. Then go to the end of the curve and pull down. And again, line it up, see the caret, hold Alt, hold the mouse button down, pull up. Go to the end, complete the curve. Pull, hold and pull down, line it up, see the little caret, hold down Alt, pull up, then go to the end of the curve and pull down. Just like the previous curves, we're going to grab that direct selection tool and start using it to adjust and tweak our handles until our curve looks as close as we can to the template. Okay, we're ready to finish up this paths worksheet. So we're going to do the Control-0 and zoom out, then get our magnifying glass and select the area around path D. Back to our pen tool, remember, tells the computer we're starting a new path, and start that first curve just like the others. Hold and pull up, hold and pull down. Now this time we're going to draw a straight line segment. It's our first straight line. Straight lines don't involve any dragging or pulling. All you have to do is tell the computer where point A is and where point B is of your line segment. So you simply line your cursor up at point A and click. No hold and drag, just a quick click. Move to the other end and click. And now you have a straight line segment. Now we're going back to a curve, so we will need to line it up on that same anchor point and pull in the direction of the curve. In this case, is down. Then we're going to go to the end of our curve like always. Hold and pull up. Now back to a line segment, we want to line it up, and you will see that little caret like we did before. Click, and then click at point B, then hold and pull, and then go to the end and hold and pull to finish path D. Just like before, the direct selection tool can be used to tweak our lines and get our worksheet finished up. Once you're happy with the way path D looks, you'll be ready to turn this in. So we're going to zoom back out, look at the whole thing, Control-0. Now they're all going to look the same when you start printing them out. So I want you to type your name on the document. Go get the text tool from the toolbox. It's a little T. Bring it over and simply click once where you're going to want to start typing. You'll get a blinking cursor and then you can type your name in there. Now, before you print, it's a good idea to save this document, just in case something were to happen. Go to File, Save As, name it your initials and then paths, so you can tell the difference between the template file and yours. Go ahead and save it. All these settings are fine. Just say OK. And now you're ready to print. Printing, you're just going to go to File and choose Print at the bottom of the menu. Remember, when printing in our lab, you're going to want to choose the HP LaserJet 4100. Make sure that printer is selected. All the other settings look to be fine. OK, and you're done.